What time is it? It's Sampstra Games time. We're going to look at a brand new game called Robothorium. And this game is created by the same people who made Sigma Theory, and they're also working on Legend of Keepers, which I'm quite excited about. So what is this game? Essentially, it's a turn-based combat game that's very focused on the story, and the robots are sentient now. And, well, as humans didn't react very well to that. And you take control of the robots and artificial intelligence, and your job is to, help the robots survive by killing some people sometimes. So let's just get into it. Now, before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to the developers for giving me a key to this game. And now, let's go. Let's go. We're going to start a brand new game together. I'm going to play on the Insurrection, which is like a medium. Let's see. I'm going to pick right this one. If the robots are destroyed, need to repair them. Enemies are fought in their basic difficulty. Yeah, go. We'll go with that. 2052 robotics have been endowed with a state-of-the-art artificial intelligence. The graphics in this game is incredible, by the way. It contributed greatly to the creation of a powerful and prosperous society. I mean, yeah, that's why we make robots. Exploit and oppress robots demonstrated for the recognition of their rights. But the reaction of human race was predictable. No, we destroyed them. Today, a civil war threatens the world. You are Saya, an artificial intelligence program for a single purpose, offering a future to robots. That's what they're supposed to do. Offer a future to the robots. Robothorium. The game we're gonna play. I love how the logo's shaking. It's just like the robots, like, let us live, leave us alone. That's what the logo is doing. Hello, Saya. I'm Sarasim of the emissary of the rebel factions. I'm here to help you. You need to hurry up and get out of here. Oh, that's a great welcome. Like, hello and get out. Some idling robots should be lying around in this room. Go ahead and take control of 3 of them as you wish. Alright, so you start off, these options are random, which is very interesting. It gives you kind of options for different playthroughs. Eventually you can buy your own robots, but you won't always have the money from the get-go, so you tend to kind of pick whatever you like. Now, I really like these riots and the guards. They're fantastic. So essentially, let's look at them first. So first we have this repair robot. These are very good for support. They give you a chance to get additional shield. The way this game works is that each robot has a shield, and then it has like actual health, which is called structure here. And the enemies need to destroy the shield to be able to hurt them. And the shield sometimes regenerates depending on the type of robot you have. And this repair robot is like a mechanic robot. It's mostly focusing on support. Here you can see attack, defense, support, and speed. Support is usually giving a chance to increase the shield of an ally or increase, I don't know, healing chances or stuff like that. Generally just, helping out. What would you expect from support? Attack is attack, defense is defense. That's both kind of obvious. And speed determines the order in which you go in the fight. And it can also occasionally have a lot of different robots, like this one, the Zerker, have some sort of abilities that, for example, if an enemy is slower than you, you can do something extra. So for those robots, it's speed. But I don't really think the Rippers are like that great, especially not for the beginning. Later on, you can have up to 5 robots, so having one of them supportive is pretty good, but we're not going to go for them. War I have not had in any of my test games. It seems like if you look at this that, you can also see the class up here. So this is a class mechanic. This war guy is a class soldier. You can see that he's kind of good at everything, so he seems to be sort of equal on every position. And then we have guard. These guys are fantastic. So what he does mostly is he has these sort of abilities where he's using his shield to do damage to enemies, and you can sometimes do damage to quite a lot of enemies, so we're definitely picking him. So let's read a little bit about him. So you can also see his pretty good attack and defense, some support as well. Very low speed, so he's not very quick. So the enemies will always go before him, which is not the best for him, but it's gonna be okay. The guard units are steeped in a British craftsmanship. They were conceived to replace the Royal Guard at Buckingham Palace in 2030, and were programmed to follow the single directive: defend the entrance to the palace and protect the King of England against all dangers. So you can see that's why they're very good defensive. Now, riot robots, I like these even better. And what they have is, you can see they also have very high defense, but they have some options like I don't know what it's called in the game, but it's like retarget. Essentially, you can use them to to like defend another robot. So if the enemy tries to target another robot, it's going to be moved towards the riot guys. They also have some really interesting abilities like corrosion, where you can essentially poison the enemies, which is very fun. So and they have very high shield, very good structure, which is health. I really like those. Riot guys are really good. The riot unit was developed by friends in the Great Revolts of 2042, where it was used to prevent the spillover of demonstrations. Armor is often spray painted with militant slogans inherited from years of systematic use in riots. Absolutely going in. Let's go. The Zerkers, I've had them in my test plays. They're pretty interesting in the fact they have incredible speed, and they also have attacks that give you chances of, like, for example, they have an attack that attacks all enemies, and for every enemy that's slower than you, it increases their attack. So because they have such a high speed, they can do incredible damage to a lot of enemies very quickly. However, you're going to have some problems with overloading, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now, the last option we have is Scout. I have not had a Scout. Their class is as a spy, so I'm thinking we might grab him just to test him out, just to see something new. So let's read a little bit about our Scout. For many years, I like that his counter version is China, and the first sentence talking about Spain. For many years, Spain has dominated the drone fighting world championship. Ooh. But in 2035, China came up with a robot that was able to flawlessly pilot a drone. The driver. Since then, they have won every round of the tournament. The country's leader quickly figured out how to put it to nefarious use by transforming the robot into an elite spy unit. It has thus been renamed to Scout. Yeah, I think I'll go with Scout. The Zerkers are pretty interesting, but I kind of like trying something new. We might grab some Zerkers later. These guys. So we picked China, United Kingdom, and France. That's an interesting combination. Let's go. Guard, Riot, and Scout. Ooh. You're currently located in a break-tech lab. Take some time to look around. Scanning your surroundings should be an easy task for an artificial intelligence as advanced as you. Of course. Who do you think I am? I am very good. I was programmed to be the best. Okay. Interactive elements. You can interact with elements through actions. Yeah, I'm not gonna read it. We can just do it. So we opened this and we have gotten some stuff. If they left some weapons laying around, we should use that opportunity to arm ourselves. Yes, you're right, Mr. Scout. And look, doesn't he look great in this little thing, in this little protection bubble-ish thing, and with his drone, and the riot guy with the super shield? I mean, yeah, of course he's a riot guy. This guard guy could be like anything, but this guy's like really cool. So let's go down here. Rooms unveiling. Some actions allow you to unveil unexplored rooms and to get special bonuses. So essentially you have this map on the right in which you move around, and then you can find in one room there's like the main goal. So once you get that, you're done with the mission. But you can also explore around, which can give you some extra rewards or just some XP for more fighting. On the left you can see a danger level. So for example, if you try to hack this camera and fail, and increase our danger level. We're currently at 0, but if we get to a high enough number like 30, the success chance of action is lower. This is the success chance. We have 70% chance to successfully hack this camera. But if we get higher than 30 danger level, it's going to be lower than that. Then if we get too high, the enemy speed and powers and enhance and stuff like that. So let's hack the camera. Element discovered. So now we can look at the map. And we have discovered some areas around us. You've managed to discover some new rooms by hacking their security system. You earn special bonuses if they contain anything important, which is not the case. Now, these rooms are randomized, I believe. I think I had a different one in my test game. I'm not 100% certain on that, but like 90% certain on that. Okay, reformat. We have 65% chance. Let's try this. Oh, no password can resist us. A drone? Saya, it's your time to shine. But remember to always ponder the consequences of your choices. You will only be judged for your deeds. Of course, what else would I be judged for? I mean, come on. I'm an artificial intelligence. Okay, so we can destroy the drone, but remember, we are the robots. We love the robots. We don't want to destroy beautiful robots. We could hack it or deactivate it. I'm going to try to hack it. The chance is the same for everything, and I want the drone to just like leave. I love the way this goes, like 70% chance we have the circumstance. Droney, at your service. Thank you, Droney. Okay, element discovered. So yeah, so now we can see what we have next. Speed of the enemy's group is reduced by 50 in the next room. Yeah, that's okay. Ooh, we have some fighting. Saya, neutralize these riflemen if you want to get out of here. So just going to talk to you about fighting. I'll talk to you about myself without a tutorial. So first thing to realize is the enemies are standing in lines. This is one line, this is second line. I'm standing in this line. This guy's standing in that line. That's very important. Your attacks can attack one enemy. You can see it by the sort of red dot on the upper right of the pop-up window. Or you can see this sort of like a line on the upper right. That means you're going to attack the whole line. Now, the first ability is always the basic ability. And the basic ability is lowering. You can see the minus 30% in green. It's lowering your overload level. On the other ones have a red mark next to it, and it's red and says 25%. That means it's increasing the overload level. Once the overload gets to 100, you get overloaded and you are stunned for a turn, and you also lose your defenses, so the enemies can hurt you much more. So something that you definitely want to watch out for. However, in most cases, these other abilities are way better than the original one. So we're looking at the scouts. So first thing we can do is just a regular shot. Deals 42 damage to an enemy. The way this works is that the damage is always going towards the shield first, unless there's like, for example, this guard has like a special ability that's evenly distributed between structure and shield. Structure means health. So that's pretty cool, but otherwise just goes. You also have a chance to land a critical hit and damage of the skill increased by 10% for each penalty on the target. They have no penalties on themselves, so it's not going to help us much. Then we have Virus Pulse. This increases the overload of an enemy by 10%, applies overheat and mark target. Overheat generates 15% overload per turn for 3 turns, so essentially 45% overload, but in 3 turns. You can also mark the target, which means it's going to be targeted by a drone. Then Splash Ammo spreads all penalties from targeted enemy to random enemy, and 35% chance to apply Terror Focus and Stalk to an enemy line. Chance to double on enemies affected by at least one penalty. So this guy is pretty rubbish on his own. I'll be honest with you, he's pretty bad. And the only thing that's good about him, this overheat, you can essentially choose to go more like towards the health way or the overheat way. For example, there is a robot that's called Song, and he has the ability of hurting the enemies based on how much overheat they have. So the scout with the Song could be a good combo. The way the scout works right now is actually sort of rubbish. I think we'll go with this, with having a chance on the enemies online, giving them Torrio Focus and Stalk. So Torrio Focus, damage taken increased by 40%. That's pretty cool, because then we can hit them with some more other people. Stalk, taking damage regenerates the shield of the assailant by 20% of damage. So this is fantastic. This means if I'm hitting the enemy, I'm sort of regenerating my shield. But generally, this guy is no good. We're going to check some of his other abilities and see if we can swap them out. You can swap some of your abilities out, which is pretty cool. Next up, we go with the Riot. Riot has a regular shot. Already you can see it does way more damage, 71 compared to the basic shot of this one, which is 40. This is just a regular one attack. It's not that interesting. But then we have Shockwave. Deals 65 damage to an enemy line and has 25% chance to apply stun. This is fantastic. Alternatively, we have this Interration, which is going to give Protected to an ally, making sure that enemies cannot hit him. So it would be a good thing to put it on this guy. But I'm going to start this off with the Shockwave. Yeah, this guy is stunned, so he won't have a turn. Now, as for my main guard, very interesting thing with this basic ability is that it's going to give him Neo Converter, which essentially allows you to regenerate 10% of your shield, 10% of the damage dealt to your shield. And it can stack up to 10 times. So if you have 10 of these, all the damage you deal is going to give you a shield. You might say, well, that's not very interesting if you have a full shield. Yes, but if you look at some of his other abilities, for example, this one, Deflection Shot. Launcher loses 20% of his shield to deal 100% of his shield maximum. So if not of the current one, to deal 82 damage to an enemy, and you can get it back, some of it with the Neo Converter. He also has an ability that we can see right now, but I know he has it where... Oh, this is, by the way, the Full Drain deals 51 damage evenly distributed between enemies' shield and structure, so you can already hurt them even though they still have a shield. But he also has an ability where he's using all of his remaining shield to deal damage to everybody, which is especially powerful if you have a lot of Neo Converters. So we're going to start this by going with... yeah, let's go with this. Line attack, evenly distributed. You can see here we're getting higher overload on him. Now on the right here, we can change the speed of combat. We couldn't have it on the highest speed. Just do a regular attack on this guy. I am sorry, I wasn't aiming for you. Sometimes the robots are kind of cute. Let's do another Shockwave. We can afford it. We didn't manage to stun anybody. Can you kill off this guy? Yes, you can, so do it. Now, we have gotten 3 Neo Converter, which now means every time this guy attacks, he's going to get some of the shield back, which is very cool. Let's do... You really have nothing good. Splash ammo? No, we don't care. Let's just do a regular shot on this guy. We can lower his shield. Now this guy has some regeneration, which is not ideal, so we would ideally try to stun him. But yeah, I can actually do this because the enemies, they don't really go on my overload right now, so I can't afford to hit them because they're not increasing my overload. If they were doing that, that could be a problem because then he would get stunned and we don't want that. You just hit this guy. You as well, because you need to get your overload down. And could you do the higher damage? You can't quite kill it though. This will allow me to heal myself, which I don't really need to do right now, so just do a regular shot. You lost a bit of the shield because that's what the ability does, but that's okay. Okay, kill off this guy. Perfect. Now, these are just abilities that I was giving from the beginning. The choices are random, I think. You have like a list of six abilities and this basic one per robot. And the choices of the first three are, I think, random. And then the basic one is always there. So, and you can swap them out, or you have to pay a little bit of money for that. But it's pretty interesting if you swap them out. I'll talk to you more when we get to that point in the game. That was close. Good job, Saya. Thank you. Got some rewards and some XP, so let's keep moving. The robots are facing a trap. It's becoming too dangerous to stay any longer. So we can destroy, deactivate, or hack it. Let's try to deactivate it. And we did it. Great. Robots have unveiled a trap and will be able to trigger. You certainly are talented, Saya. I am very talented. I am the best at what I do. I was programmed to save the robot kind. Alright, so we'll start this off with the shockwave. Oh, an interesting point here. The buffs and debuffs stay between combats on the same mission. So we can see this guy got 10 Neo-Conventor in the last combat, so he has it. So now I can use a lot of his abilities that cost him a shield, because he can get it back very easily. I guess give them the increased damage. Yeah, on him at least. You could do 51 damage, yeah, and distribute it evenly. Great, do that. Yeah, they can hit him, that's fine, because as soon as he hits them back, he's gonna get his shield back, which is pretty good for him. Do shockwave again, I do have the overheat for it. You just try to hit that guy, maybe. And you could hit them all again. Alternatively, I could just kill off that guy, which is probably more effective for me right now, because they will hit me less. More shockwave? No. Okay, so if I use a shockwave, I would be overloaded, which we don't want to happen. So we're just gonna use a regular rifle shot to lower his overload. Yeah, let's hit this guy up. This guy is really bad. I want to check his other abilities to see if he's better. I mean, he was meant for support, but I was kind of hoping for something a little bit better than that. Like, yeah, like a little bit better at least. This is very rubbish. Oh, they both got stunned. That was so good. We're gonna have to check, because we need to get better stuff on him. Yeah. This game has a lot of stuff aside from combat. It has like a very interesting workshop where you can build like pretty amazing things. Like you can have like very special helmets, for example, that give you like special abilities and stuff like that. So it's very much something you want to think about. Can I kill this guy off? I can? Seriously? 82 damage. Yeah, well, just shoot him like that then. I can kill that guy off though. Then use just the basic thing. If you can kill him anyways, then yeah, you kill him. Right. That guy's dead. And you should be able to use this to hurt him quite a bit. And 82 damage. Nice. Regular shot. This guy's dead. You can also get a critical hit, which gives you extra 50% damage. Now we've leveled up, so after the mission, we can pick our new talents. Oh, we don't want. Oh, actually, we do want to leave. Yeah. You know, robots are safe here. Welcome to a secret rebel base, Saya. Thank you for your welcome. Alright, so here you can, this is like your mission window where you can pick the missions where you go to. There are also some missions where you just send like one enemy there. Those are then like, where you just send like one robot and it works on their own while you do other missions, but we're not going to do that just yet. Next up we have equipment. In the equipment, you can change your robot's equipment, which you can see here, like you can see some weapons that I've gotten and some of the other things that I have, for example, a gadget. And if you mouse over these, the red ones are the ones that I cannot equip. You can equip everything on everybody. For example, you can see my current weapon is doing 32 damage and it's giving me +3 on crit chance. So if I look at this one, it's going to do 34 damage. This one does 41 damage, but a lower chance of a crit chance, which I don't really mind. That's perfectly fine by me. So we'll go with this one, 41 damage. And then we can see we have 300 gold. Now what's very important here, you can see these abilities and you can see talent points. So these 6 abilities are the ones that we have unlocked already. Once we apply 3 talent points to anything in this circle, we're going to unlock the inner circle. The inner circle is mostly stats. It's going to increase some of your stats. Now, next up, I told you I have 6 abilities, right? But I'm not actually able to use 6 abilities. I'm only able to use 3. But you can change them, but it's going to cost you 100 gold. So you can kind of choose if you want to do it. So for example, what I really like is this Belligerent Smash. The launcher loses his remaining shield to deal 17 damage to all enemies for every 20% shield lost this way. So if you have 100% shield, you are doing 5 times 17 damage to every enemy. And if you have the Neo Converter, which increases your shield, you get all the shield back. Which is pretty awesome. Or, well, actually not all the shield back, but you get all the shield equal to the damage you did, which should probably be your fourth shield, so it's going to be fine. So, we definitely want that. And the question is, what do you want to switch it for? So, what I generally like to I like to have them placed in sort of like a good way. So we're going to have the line ones in the last position. We're going to have the thing that attacks all the enemies in this third position. So ideally we would like to swap that for this. Also, like, question is which one of these 3 abilities I want to keep. And I think we're just going to get rid of the regeneration. We don't really need it that much. So let's substitute this for the Belligerent Smash. Now this does cost 100 gold. So we now only have 200, but it's worth it. And I'm going to put my talent point into that ability as well. So this is Belligerent Smash also generates 10% of launcher's maximum shield after the shield loss. So we get 10% definitely, and then the additional from the Neo Converter. So this is especially useful in like the 2nd or 3rd battles where Neo Converter is at the highest level. So it can be very good. Next up, we want to look at the Riot. Now the Riot also has a really interesting... first of all, I'd like this to be in the last position. And we could potentially get rid of this one. That's not that exciting. So, but yeah, so in this position, I would like to give this Corrosive Grenade. It deals 47 damage to all enemies, 50% chance to apply corrosion. This is pretty amazing. So I'm going to grab this in. Here we're going to put the Shockwave. And I am actually going to keep the Protected because it is pretty good. It's pretty cool, the ability to move the attacks from the enemies to this guy. So we're going to keep it here instead of the other attack that we had. So this is kind of how I'm going to put it. And I would like to put my talents point into Corrosion. Actually, do we? Corrosive Grenade also has a 10% chance to apply Torio Focused. Alternatively, we could put it in the Shockwave. Shockwave is 5%. Yeah, we'll do this. Higher chance to get stunned is better right now. Now, as for my Scout, let's see what other abilities he has. Applies Corrosion, mark target to an enemy. Ooh, Corrosion is not bad. Takes damage equivalent to 10% of maximum shield and structure combined per turn. So this is what we can do with this, can put it on everybody. This would do 20% damage per turn. So essentially, if I apply this and that, the person will die in 5 turns. Just like that. I don't need to do anything. I actually quite like that. We can only pick one of these abilities right now because we don't have money for more. Applies as many random bonuses to the launcher as there are penalties on the targeted enemy. Now, reduces the overload of an ally to 0% but applies drone OOS to the launcher. Can use order, shoot, and robotic coordination. Now, let's go with the sulfuric ammo, and we'll put it instead of this, of the spreading penalties. I think. Yeah, sulfuric ammo, go. Okay, can I give you something better? This is gonna increase my structure and my shield, so let's do that. Anything else I can give you guys? To be used in a workshop, to be used in, yeah, okay, this is all used in a workshop. Oh, and I didn't use my talent points. So let's put my talent points on this. Also has a 50% chance to turn 1 random bonus on the enemy into a random penalty. Sure, that seems okay. Like I said, the Scout, kind of rubbish, but it's okay. I mean, he's not like rubbish, but he's rubbish in the build I have right now. Like, if we want to make him work, we have to have a different build, and I don't know if I want that kind of build, because it's a lot of work, so I'm probably just going to get rid of him as soon as I can. Like, we can also sell him, you know. This is our hangar. Here we'll be able to buy and sell robots. However, these technological masterpieces are not what you'd call cheap. Of course not. How could a robot be cheap? That was the whole problem with you humans, thinking we are useless and that we are supposed to be killed. We are worth our lives. Yeah, Saya, tell her, Saya. Unlike the shield of your robots, which regenerates between each mission, their structure needs to be regularly repaired in the hangar in exchange for some res. Yeah. You don't need to do any healing though. Okay, we can also look at our robots' personalities. Our guard is spriteful, our riot is fatalistic, and our scout is fierce. Alright. And I think that's gonna be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Now click on the right top towards the next one, or click on the right bottom to watch Dead Monarchy, which is also a turn-based combat game. I'll see you there. Bye bye.